Why waste any time? Let's kick off this first collection video with Jada toys. The first Street Fighter figure I'm showing off is Street Fighter's very own Bruce Lee. We have Fei Long, and as a bonus, this guy moves like Bruce Lee. He can do all the things you need some kind of crazy Kung Fu Street Fighter figure to do, and the fire effect fits perfectly on his leg. I probably should have shown that to you guys, huh? Next up is Street Fighter's Big Daddy Ryu, and this is the first Street Fighter figure I got from Jada, and I was absolutely blown away. Look at that dude, look at how great he looks, and he moves even better. If you have this Ryu, you know what I'm talking about. That gi that he's wearing is an ultra soft material, so it does get in the way a little bit, but not too much, so yeah, he's awesome. And if Ryu's Big Daddy Street Fighter, Chun-Li is Big Mommy. I mean, not very big, but she is bigly awesome? Does that make any sense? I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. What I can tell you, though, is the only thing about this figure I'm not so sure about is the way her neck moves. Everything else moves absolutely incredibly. If you have her, you know how crazy the waist articulation is. It's kind of like you can just keep spinning the thing at the waist, and it's just incredible. The first Ryu may be Big Daddy Ryu, but Evil Ryu took my top spot this year for favorite figure under $50 because I'm a photo guy. He comes with a lot more parts than Ryu also, but when you have a character that wears darker clothes, oof, it looks so much better under the lights in front of your lens. Speaking of my top 10 figures under $50 list, Chester Cheetah here took number 2, and let's face it, he has no right to be this good. Look at those spindly limbs. Here's something that is insane. With those spindly, single-jointed limbs, he gets a lot more than what you would think of as single-jointed articulation. This thing can move like a superhero and deserves to be in a spot next to the rest of your superheroes. Now we're into the SHF figures that I have, and I have to say, I'm a late bloomer when it comes to getting figures from the original trilogy. And I love the original trilogy, but earlier this year I picked up this Return of the Jedi Darth Vader, and I'm truly not sure I will ever need another Darth Vader. This thing's insane. The only thing I would say they could improve is make the skirt piece out of cloth, but then, perfection. And then there's Darth's boy Luke, and Luke is incredible. This is the version from The Mandalorian, but let's face it, you look at him, and he looks like the version from Return of the Jedi, so I'm holding on to him. I'm going to get rid of a couple of my SH Figuarts figures, so they're not in this collection video, but this Luke, there was no way I could part with him, because he just looks too perfect. That head sculpt, mwah, perfection. Now let's get into a line that I never thought I'd go nuts with the Masters of the Universe Origins, and yeah, I had to buy this He-Man because my sister got me the Skeletor you can vaguely see next to him. So you can't have one without the other, and I thought, that's it. I don't need any more Origins figures. And then, well, that rule, it's gonna break. And here is that dastardly fiend that ruined it all. We have Skeletor, and really, Skeletor is just too much fun to have in the collection. In fact, I have the cartoon collection Skeletor on pre-order because why not? It's a crazed, evil-looking Skeletor that looks perfect for the meme. This guy has the same body as the He-Man figure we just saw, but he's got a cool skull head. If you don't know your Skeletor, you gotta pick one up just because of all the Masters of the Universe characters. He's the best. And now, the reason that I have that cartoon Skeletor on pre-order, I bought this cartoon He-Man, and he breaks all the rules. I was never going to be a Masters of the Universe collector, and I definitely don't tend to pick up cartoon versions of characters. And yet when I got this, the way the finish was on him was perfect. The flat is where it should be flat, and it's shiny where it should be shiny. This is actually a really incredible figure, especially for 18 bucks. And now we have my only figure from any kind of Jurassic Park anything. It is the first Velociraptor from the Amber collection, wearing a madcap head that came with the Deadpool that was in the X-Men uniform from Marvel Legends. This guy's one of Toypixx's mascots, this and Cowboy Logan. He's just fun to have around. When I put that hat on him, I thought, okay, this guy can have some fun. He's kind of funny, he's kind of hilarious, and on his own, he's a remarkably cool Velociraptor figure. Now, Toypixx is all about action figure photography. So if you're digging the video so far, scan the QR code to get your free action figure photography guide and to get signed up for the Toypixx newsletter so you can keep up on all the Toypixx things. And now, back to the video. If you're into some wackiness, you gotta love you some Plunderlings, and here we have Captain Ash. And I don't know what to say about these things, except they're all just straight up fun. They're just goofy. They're goofy, crazy little gremlins that you can have just hanging out with the rest of your action figures. I got 3, so I guess it's time now to show you the other 2. Here we are with Nomad Tough, and what I really love about Tough is the fact that he comes with a giant mallet. It gives insane Looney Tunes vibes. So I always have him sneaking up on things. Like the last photo I took of him, I had him sneaking up on a rabbit, like he was going to make a rabbit pancake. I thought it was kind of funny. But these figures, they really do lend themselves into those funny shots. And finally, the third and final Plunderling that I have, although I'd like to correct that this year, get a few more, is Spurt. Spurt was my first Plunderling, and he's why I wanted the other ones. He's why I want more. He's incredible. Sadly, he is the only one that I can't find anywhere online anymore, so if you like him, keep checking that eBay. I don't know why I dig the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles X Universal Monsters crossover so much, but I really do. And I don't know what else to say about them except they're really incredible. Yeah, they're basically posable statues, but what else would Frankenstein be? And Raph's kind of a brute anyway, so it was sort of a perfect combination. But yeah, man, if you dig Universal Monsters and TMNT, you might want to try getting into this line. Leonardo as the Hunchback is absolutely nuts. Like he just looks like he just really kind of gives that vibe. He's got a shell that opens so you can put a bunch of stuff in there. He's got a beard. I love Leo with a beard, and somehow I love the idea that they made Leo the crossover with this figure, because you always think of him as being the fine, upstanding turtle that would never look like this. So it's a fun little dichotomy. Alright, in typical bad nerd fashion, I don't know much about the Universal Monsters. I don't think I've ever seen one of those movies, but I do know that the best turtle is Michelangelo. Seriously, best, no question. You all know it. And the way that they made him work out with this mummy outfit is really good. He's probably the most posable of the Universal Monsters figures that I've gotten so far, although the creature from the Black Lagoon, Leo, he looks like he might pose pretty well also. And the last of the Universal Monsters turtles I have is Donatello, and to be honest, he's pretty surprising. He moves the second best of all of them. And he moves really well with his legs in spite of the big coat that goes over them. So it's kind of crazy. You would think he'd have the traffic cone thing going on so that he'd be stuck down there. But no, he moves pretty well, and he looks pretty rad. If you're still watching, stick around to the end so you can check out today's Patreon freebie. And now, it's time for me to talk about the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Eastman and Laird / Mirage Studios figures that I have. Now, I'm not going to go waxing all poetic about the turtles themselves. It's basically the same figure, but man, is it a great, solid figure. This 4-pack makes me crazy happy. It was one that I highlighted in my top 5 figures over $50 because it was a set that I felt like I couldn't break them up into the under $50, even though individually they'd be $35 or $37.50. Anyway, now I'm just babbling. I just want you to know how cool these are. If you get a shot, you really want to pick them up. Now here's the red shirt Casey Jones, who's just An awesome, awesome figure in spite of the waist cut. Most of the time I don't let waist cuts in the collection unless it's MOTU, just because they're much cheaper figures. So I figure it's kind of okay there, but Casey comes with so much stuff and goes so well with the turtles, and frankly, what's a turtles collection without a Casey Jones? So I kind of had to have him, and fortunately, he's cool. And now, the number 3 figure on my top 10 figures under $50, we have Zog. I don't know what to say that pictures don't do. You almost have to see this guy in person. You gotta pick him up. You gotta see the texture, the scaling. He is a phenomenal figure. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my first of 3 collection videos. It's not gonna be a huge collection, but it's a collection I dig. Comment below, let me know, do you have any of these figures? Do you dig any of these figures, even if you don't have them? And what are some of the coolest figures you have in your collection? Now, it's time for today's Patreon freebie. Today's Patreon freebie? A whole lot of blood splatter. I thought to myself, Photo Dave, what is it the people need in their ultra-violent action figure photos? And it just so happened to be a whole lot of blood splatter. You can put this so it looks like it's coming off the camera lens, like Wolverine takes a cut of somebody and the blood goes flying, and there it is, super blurred against the lens. Good lord. I need help. Scan the QR code, head to the Toypixx Patreon page, and hey, download it for free, because everything on the Toypixx Patreon page is free. So while you're there, take a look around, see if there's anything else you need. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was today's Patreon freebie. And that's what I got for today. So, thanks for checking out the video, and as always, have fun and happy snapping. See ya.